Jack Wilson, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. It's been a year in the making. I don't know how long I've been asking you to do this for.
Oh, bro, we're running on that Murray time, Bruss. It's always going to happen, but it's just a matter of when. It's a matter of when, but I'm glad to be here with you, brother. So it's good to see what you're doing. And you're
100%.
connecting people all around the world, sharing their stories. So, mate, I'm in your corner with this one, bro. Let's yarn and let's share, bro.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So, Jack, where do we begin? We met. Our story goes back day one of Ninja. Day one of Ninja Warrior, season one, episode one. That's where we first met. I remember you sitting in the back. You were sitting down. Weren't talking to many people. We were chatting a little bit, and then you come out of nowhere and just destroy destroy the course. But take me back to your younger years. Take me back to when you were a kid. What were you like as a child? Where'd you grow up? What were you doing?
Yeah, I remember that day too when I was sitting in that room at the Ninja Warrior in the green room, and I'm a quiet little achiever at times. So when people get to know me, I like to express my character and be myself. So it takes a bit to get winded up, but when it's winded up, there's no stopping. So, and you're the same, Russ. You're the same. So we clicked immediately. Another brother from a different mother.
That's it.
From across the water there, but. Russ, as a young fella, grew up in far north Queensland, in Cairns, Australia. I'm a youngest of three boys, youngest in the family, so I'm a mummy's boy. I was a little shit as well, a little shit that used to cry and whine, and just you never heard enough of it, But I can thank the older brothers for that. They built tough skin. They give me tough skin, them bastards, but excuse the language. But they give it to me. They tormented me. They mocked me. They teased me. And I was just a bit too young for them in their league because I was about 5 years younger. I wanted to be like the older brothers.
Yeah.
But I'm very fortunate, man. I was a very fortunate upbringing. I had two beautiful parents. I had two older brothers, so I had role models in my family. It's very family orientated. It was like, I had a roof over my head. Come to think of it now, I was surrounded by beautiful people. So don't have really much to whinge about nowadays, but let alone, the mocking and teasing. But when I sit back at an older age now, I think, wow, I had it really great because I've witnessed a lot of families out there in these years of traveling and working with children and working with underprivileged youth.
Yeah.
There are a lot of broken homes out there. So I've got nothing to worry about. And I feel for the people out there that don't have family, in their lives, because family is such a pinnacle of self-awareness and belonging.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Wow. So what were you like physically? So what were you doing? Were you playing sport? Were you playing?
Yeah. I was playing all sorts of sport, bro. I was playing footy, brought up playing footy. I was brought up playing like union. I was brought up playing bull rush. I don't know if you heard of bull rush.
Yeah, I know bull rush.
In the day, you single out someone in the crowd and someone's in the middle and they call out your name or they call out bull rush. So we're always on our feet, always playing touch footy, tackle footy in the park, always climbing trees. I'm a country boy, so my family from out west, and brought up in the tropics, in the rainforest. So I was always climbing trees, always running through the bush, being a little maniac. And that's all through my ancestry as well, and generation. Like, we're just naturally talented, and our instincts are living off the land. So I've sort of got that blood in me as well. And yeah, bloody hell, my dad played golf growing up. He taught me how to play golf.
Wow.
He taught me how to fish. So hunting, used to go out throwing the cast net, throwing spears, chasing animals and whatnot. So it's in my blood, brother. And any sport at school, you name it, I was track and field champion and everything. Like, I was a running machine. That's my forte. So I'm very talented at running. I can just run for days. So you could say I'm a bit of a middle distance runner. And that's something I used to compete at a higher level at as well. and I used to, do it for my region. So that's something that I'm really connected to, is my running.
Mm. Oh yeah, I remember. I remember struggling walking
Yeah,
along the beach.
yeah. Yes, you've
Oh
tasted.
man,
You've had a taste
that
of
was
that.
horrible. I think for my two laps up and back, I think you guys did 8.
Yeah, we done something substantial, and yeah, I remember your calves were burning.
Oh man.
Wow, you got a little taste of that.
Oh, that
So
was
what? Running was just not in your game.
no. It used to be. It used to be when I played rugby and soccer in high school. Obviously, yeah, I was running all the time, and then you'd be playing, touch rugby. Well, for me, it was twice a day. Recess, lunch, and then rugby training, and then obviously playing as well. So I used to have a really good tank. It was crazy. I would have done that, or at least on normal ground. I would have done that easily in high school. But
Well, I think what
long
it
gone are
was
the
too
days.
might have been a while between runs, and it was on the sand. I remember.
Mate, that was horrible.
So sand running, it also activates all those stability muscles, and it activates muscles you haven't used in a long time. So, for your first session back, you went to hell and back. That's for sure.
It's funny. I remember when we were running, and I was kept up for about 50 meters, and then slowly, I'd noticed you're about a couple of centimeters ahead, and a few meters.
Yeah, just into the distance, into the
Oh man,
distance.
that was a fun little trip. We'll get to all that, but so you were playing sports in school. What was your goals finishing school, if you had any? Like, what were you thinking about doing with yourself upon finishing school? What was the plan at the time?
Well, I wanted to be a professional athlete. I remember growing up, I always loved to watch the Olympics, and I loved to watch cross country running, and I love to watch long distance running. So it was definitely in my brain that I wanted to be an athlete of some sort. But
Mm.
then I also loved football as well, NRL, so tackle footy. I also wanted to be a football player. But my brother and my father were the footy players. I went all right. I didn't go too bad, but just didn't have that spark that they had.
Hmm.
So after school, like, I was a bit of a shithead at school, to be honest. I wasn't really academic smart. I was more hands-on in PE, woodworks, steelworks, all that sort of stuff. And I left school at the age of 15. Got thrown straight into the construction industry because that's all my family sort of knew. They were all miners. And that's basically the only option I had, really, without my own want or need. It was like, this is what you're doing. So that's what I'd done. Got straight into boilermaking, which is steelworks, and that didn't really work out. And then I got into carpentry because I like the outdoors. And obviously with carpentry, you're out building houses and whatnot. And I didn't like being in the same area every day, like under a shed.
Mm.
So I got into that, just excelled at that. And I got my trade certificate. So I'm a carpenter by trade. Took me 4.5 years.
Wow.
And then I worked in the industry for another 2 years after that. So a lot of my years outside my teenage years and early adulthood, brother, I was pretty much heavily working, early mornings, big shifts, hard on the body, but always training. Like that's all I knew, that was my kryptonite. But then I got introduced to alcohol and drugs at a young age too, recreational drugs and alcohol. So I got sucked down that little plug hole for a while. But
Mm.
I had, like, that's, today's modern day society, that's a given. You see it and no one really bats an eye. So that's what I thought was normal. And that's unfair now, thinking about it, because I wasn't really educated on it. I didn't know anything about it. I just thought, there's pubs and clubs and my uncles and aunties and brothers and family members are doing it. That must be what you do.
Mm.
And also understanding that you're not allowed to do it, but also that feeling of being, but I want to try it.
Yeah.
I want to try it. you know, and then you start doing it behind your parents' back. You start doing it with some friends, and push comes to shove, brother, and you find yourself off your head having the time of your life because you've never felt what that feeling is like, but not knowing the repercussions and the outcome to your health.
So was there like a particular low for you? Like, was there like just a point where you realized, what am I doing? Or did you just gradually come out of it?
Took a while. It took a while, that's for sure. Because when you're in it, you get addicted to it, right? So you don't really understand. And then you sort of get more distance from your spirit, more distant from your parents, family, distant from yourself. So you're detached from yourself, like your soul is detached from those poisons and those chemicals. So quite delusional too, you know. Something in that poison that really separates your spirit from, you know, your body. So you don't really understand what you're actually doing at that point in time because it's masking and it's fulfilling a void, and it's probably escaping you from the reality that you're living. And there was times when I remember, like, I was just really upset. I was really like fucking down. Didn't know where the sadness was coming from. You know, my mum and my dad were just sort of worried about me, like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Like, all those emotions and feelings all start coming to the surface when you're getting back to reality to go back to work. And yeah, I think that's when it sort of hit me, you know, like, wow, this is real. This is some real stuff going on here. Don't know what it is, but I'm not feeling too great.
Wow. And was that at that point you found the Indigenous Marathon Project?
Yeah, 2013, brother. That's when I was 21, and that's when I was sort of in the thick of it. But you know, an angel sent from above, or being guided by the spirits or ancestors, whatever you want to call it, intuition. I got an opportunity to go to New York and run the marathon over there for Indigenous Marathon Foundation project. And my dad actually found the article in the mail one day, and my dad was one of my biggest inspirations to always inspire me and motivate me to be better or do better, because he's seen that I had something in me, that lad. So he sort of like guided me towards that and was like, here's this thing, you want to try it? And then you know, my life flashed before my eyes, and I was like, wow, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. I want to change as a person. I want to be better. I want to do better. I want to be the cycle changer. I want to change this cycle that I'm in, and my generational cycle, so my kids don't have to go through this, or any, you know, or any future family members I can inspire or enlighten. So I was like, this is it, bro. This is it. I'm doing it.
100%. And obviously you had a good time, went to New York. Wow.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, New York, man. What a city, eh? Like, you know all about New York, brother. You're from those neck of the woods, you know.
It's a crazy city.
It's a big city. It's a crazy city, and you know, it's the biggest marathon in the world. You know, they got Times Square, the Empire State Building, bloody Manhattan, bloody you name it. It's all, you see that stuff on billboards, movie screens, and I was going there. It felt like a dream, hey.
Yeah.
And also on top of that was the principle and the purpose why I was going was to, you know, raise awareness for health and well-being in Indigenous culture, to become a role model, to break that status quo, you know, and that stigma around chronic illnesses, you know, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, all that stuff. A lot of our people are prone to that. So to be a part of a quest so, you know, so strong and with such a big purpose and passion behind it, I was like, wow, this is me. So I just went all in, brother. I just went all in, and I wasn't too immersed in my culture as well. So that was also another discovery I wanted to make, is discover my bloodline and understand what it means to be Aboriginal. What the meaning of that is, you know, the 60,000-year-old culture, you know, the oldest culture in the world, you know, the ancestors of this world, the first people to walk Australian lands, you know. So I was like, wow, that's some that's some significant, information. I've got that blood. I'm not a full blood or anything. A lot of people look at me like I'm white, and yeah, I am white, I'm Caucasian, but my mum's white, but my dad's also, same color as you, brown skin. And I think that's also another conversation is racism as well, like, and people being delusional and uneducated on human race. One here, we're all human. We all bleed the same color. We all eat, we all poo, like so on and so forth. So I witnessed a lot of racism in my life as well. So I want to stand up for that.
Yeah, very interesting. So you finished the marathon. You obviously had a great time in New York. What was going on in those years before we get to Ninja? What was happening in that
Yeah.
4-year gap for you?
So basically, Robert D. Costella, the man, the legend, the icon, he's the founder of the Indigenous Marathon Foundation. He's a Australian marathon runner. He's broken records all around the world. He's very well known, and he began this project because he sees the struggle within the culture. He sees the belief in it. He sees opportunity. He sees a lot of heartbreak, and he's very connected to this land. So not even being Aboriginal himself, I might just give him, a big appreciation as well. Not being Aboriginal and being a part of something so beautiful. So he created this. He selects 12 people each year. He started in 2010, and this is the 10th year anniversary actually.
Wow.
So I think I'm number 26 graduates. I was number 26. There's up to 90, nearly to 100 graduates so far.
Wow.
And each person gets taken in as a family member of the IMP, and you get given a training program. You get given a nutrition program. You get about four training camps as the year. So you go for the meetups, and you do like the Gold Coast half marathon. You do the City to Surf 14K run from the city to Bondi Beach in Sydney. Then you do a 30K in Alice Springs. So you get given this massive itinerary for the year. So your life's about to level up. You're about to go next level. So you get given all the tools, you get given all the mentoring, you get the support, you name it. So I was like, wow, got taken to the AIS, Australian Institute of Sport in Canberra. So here we are at the Australian Institute of Sport, where athletes are built. And I'm like, whoa, like I wanted to be an athlete, like I'm here. What the hell? This is hectic. Going into the gyms, going into the ice baths, the saunas, the Bain Marie, bloody all you can eat buffet. I'm just like, we're living it up. Like, but then also like going, this is surreal, like pinching myself, like what's going on? And then understanding the obligation and the responsibility. I've just gone all in, as I said, and just went cold turkey off everything. The first camp was over. Then it was just ET, brother. Eric, the hip hop preacher. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher in my ears. Make a decision. I can, I will, I must. So here I'm listening to ET, the hip hop preacher, my first discovery of a motivational speaker on YouTube. And then he was in my ears, bro, like day in, day out, every run, 6 days a week. I had to run, 1 day off. I started to go to bed earlier. I started to read books. I started to make sacrifices to going to parties. Because it was the year of my 21st, so all my mates were turning 21, so I had to really dig deep, and hold my stance and, be strong, because a lot of my people around me didn't really see the vision as well, but I was getting the support, but also just not respecting it, a lot of drinking in front of me and all that, but I had to go through that, to build that resilience. So yeah, just went beast mode, man. Beast mode, if you want to call it something.
That's amazing. That's what it.
7 months, brother. 7 months went sober on everything. Just stopped drinking, stopped, taking drugs, and just started to really zone in on this goal.
That's amazing. So what happened after the marathon? So what happened for you after the marathon, the high of everything?
Yeah, so it was such a hype. We got there, we'd done the marathon, changed my life immediately. The 42-kilometer run was just grueling. It was there was just so much emotion and anguish and effort and determination put into it.
Mm.
And once I finished it, like it was a dream, you know, the run was just a vivid dream as I remember it. And, you know, went through a lot of hurt throughout it. Like I, you know, hit the wall, you know, and that's a little barrier you break through when you hit the wall. You go through some hurt, man. It's, your body's about to shut down, but it's more so understanding that mental drive and that your mind can push you through anything. So as I finished, I just nearly passed out, you know, in tears. And I believed at that moment that I believed anything was possible. I literally believed anything was possible in this world. So I just continued after that, man. I continued, pressed through, definitely went down into a bit of a ditch as well, going off track again because the hype was so heavy. But then I think the post-achievement mentoring or guidance wasn't there, and we're working on that now in the project. And I'm one of the mentors and advocates and spokespeople of the foundation to make sure that doesn't happen, because a big dip comes after you make a big achievement sometimes.
Yeah.
So we went through that, went off track, you know, drinking again, because I thought that was the only way I knew to celebrate was to drink. So I did start drinking again, and that taught me that it wasn't, because I went in more of a slump. Then after, you know, not too long after that, I left my hometown where I sort of had my teenage years. So I left all the friends that I was enjoying those moments with. So therefore I started to open up new avenues. I moved to the Whit Sundays in Airlie Beach, and I became like a buggy attendant at a resort. So I was living on a paradise island, and I discovered calisthenics, man. I discovered it like purely, and I just done that every day as much as I ran. And I remember Dad doing calisthenics as I was growing up. You know, a lot of these mob on Instagram and stuff are doing it now, but I was like, boys, I seen my dad doing that when I was like in nappies, 1992. You know, their old boys were doing that, man. And then I was just like, that just re-sparked that flame, and I discovered Instagram. And found out all the inspirational people on there. So I just went hand in hand with it, bro. Like my body just agreed with calisthenics, and I just escalated day in, day out.
Was there like an outdoor gym, or I'm assuming maybe I'm assuming a gym you could access, or what were you doing, like pull-ups on trees?
I only had really access to parallel bars and a chin-up bar. So it also started with like dips, push-ups, handstands, and chin-ups.
Yeah, okay.
That was like the beginning. That was the first chapter. So doing those basics, the fundamentals.
Wow. So,
yeah.
So you just built up upon that. And how long were you at the Whit Sundays for?
I was there for a year, 1 year. And I discovered traveling at this time. So I wasn't making enough money on the Whit Sundays. And I was also getting influenced by nightclubs and stuff, because the people living on the island, they just work and they party. So I was seeing I think that experience was just trying to understand whether that was for me or not. Like I would party and I would train, but then I was like, if I want to become like an athlete, or if I want to become the best of the best, I can't be partying, man. Like I can't be training my ass off Monday to Friday and then splurging out Saturday, Sunday. I'm falling into like a little bit of a groove and a rut here. And I was like, nah, mate, I've got to man up. I've got to man up and live to my values. And what Eric Thomas says, you know, if you want to breathe as bad as you want to succeed, then you'll be successful. And I took a lot of those affirmations on board, and I moved out to the mines, where all my family are in Mount Isa. So I started working in the mines to make some more money. I could go traveling and discover the world.
Wow. So you went on a big trip before Ninja, or what was going on right before?
Big trips.
A few big trips,
but a lot. Probably a year before Ninja, maybe a year and a half. I went to, where did I go? Went to Europe. I done a Europe trip with my brothers.
Nice.
So we ran with the bulls over there, and we done a Croatia yacht adventure. Went to the Greek islands as well. So that was more so bonding with my older brothers. Like I finally got to that age where I could connect with them and, you know, enjoy the brother festivities. So we went traveling and we really enjoyed the fruits of the world. And wow, what an experience the world is, man. There's a big world out there and there's some beautiful people to meet. And that also wrapped up. And then I think the traveling got put on hold for a little bit because I ended up moving. When I got back from traveling, I moved down to the Gold Coast and discovered the coast life.
Mm.
And I'd never really seen that life. And then when I seen like the Gold Coast, Brisbane area, Sydney, I was like, wow, there's stuff going on down here. So fast paced. I got introduced to that bigger city vibe. You know, I found some other hungry wolves that were chasing dreams every day, you know, on the Gold Coast in calisthenics. So I started to surround myself with other people that were on my level, on the frequency of training daily, relentlessly, just turning up. And that was just bringing the best out of me straight up.
That's awesome. I think that's the first step, isn't it? You have to remove yourself. Not so, you know, you don't want to say negative people because, you know, these people, you know, potentially your friends your whole life. But I think, you know, you always hit a road, a fork in the road, and one's going to take you backwards and one's going to take you forwards. And if the one that takes you forwards means that you have to eliminate or remove certain people, you know, who are not going to go down that road, then you're going to have to take it, or else you ain't going to go anywhere. So
that's exactly right. And you just got to love them unconditionally anyway, you know.
No,
if they're
absolutely
not at that stage yet in their lives, and it's not your fault, it's not their fault, but all you can do is support them to get through whatever they're going through. Some people can't be told either. Like, that's simply it.
That's it, 100%.
You've just got to, you know, say catcha, like, see you later, like, I'm in this for me. If you want to come with me, I'll support you. If not, I'll still support you. Just I've got to do what I've got to do.
100%. And how did you discover the applications for Ninja? Was it like me? Maybe I just saw the ad on TV. I was like, yep, okay. 3 hours later.
Yeah. I was actually on a job site at the time. I was on carpentry, building the Commonwealth Games accommodation in the Gold Coast, and
wow,
on my phone, as usual, you know, hiding from the boss, flicking through Facebook, and, you know, come across an ad. Oh no, my mate might have come across. He goes, brother, there's a Ninja Warrior coming. It's coming to Australia. What are your thoughts on that? I just said, show me straight away. And at that point, I was like escalating in my calisthenics, in my body weight, all the gymnastics. And I just filled it out right then and there, to be honest.
Had you heard of it before? Like, had you heard of the American or the Japanese? Or
I actually heard of it. Like, I just heard of it and seen it on Instagram and whatnot. I never used to follow it, like, you know, religiously, but I remember seeing it. Like, I remember seeing like Jesse Graff videos getting around constantly, you know, that blonde girl that used to kill the course all the time. So I remember her, and then I just started researching and watching more and more.
Yeah. So obviously you know, you got on, you got approved, super exciting. And what was that like for you? Sort of, you know, being flown in, you know, obviously we're all meeting. None of us know who anyone is. You know, they're bringing us in different times of the day, you know, into Mascot, and, you know, into that hotel complex that they had near the train station. What was going through your mind at the time? If you remember.
Yeah, I mean, it was all really exciting. It was all really exciting stuff. I definitely remember that I was about to make history in something. I was like, wow, this can be very, very, like, can be very, very massive in a milestone perspective of achieving my dreams of some sort, but also very nervous and shy as well, just sort of making my way through, you know, considering that I was bloody wearing nothing but a pair of budgie smugglers. Like, that was another thing on my mind as well, you know. But that was also, that whole purpose of that was also for a bigger reason, and to break through some barriers and make a statement as well. So I believed in that. But I was confident, man. I was confident. I really was. Trained hard for it. I believed in myself. But it just felt like a dream, you know, like everything's paid for, food, accommodation. You're like, this is like an excursion, you know, at the same time, meeting all these other hectic people from around the world and around Australia. I'm like, wow, this is, but not understanding how big it was actually going to be.
I was going to say, when you actually saw, when they took us through the course run through, did anything change in your mind, or like, what was that like for you?
I was like, holy crap. Oh, there's cameras, there's professional people standing up everywhere. We're doing interviews and wow, bringing me back to that moment, man. It's just like so much nerves too. Like the nerves that come to you standing on that platform. Wow. The nerves and the happiness too. Wow. Such an experience, bro.
I know. I still think of that moment. It's, I think the first season for me, I can't speak for anyone else. The first season was definitely more exhilarating. I think, yeah, the second season was good, like, but it wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same, like, tunnel vision, just pure adrenaline. I don't know. It was such a high. I really, it's hard to describe. Almost blacking out on the course as well. Like as you go through obstacles, like can't even remember half of them.
You know what? It's actually because you're so focused too. Like you're just so focused. You're so centered. You know, everything's just, you're so in the moment. Like there's not many times in life when you're actually in the moment. And when you're in the moment, you're working at your highest potential. So that's something we strive for, man, and we should strive for daily is feelings like that. You know, whether it's in healthy competition or just competition within the community or putting yourself to the test on a big workout, you know, and just because when you're at that start line, it's like there's no test runs. You don't get a trial. It's not like, okay, Kadeem, go and we'll see what happens. It's like, no, Kadeem, you're on in 10, 9. You're like, what? All right. And the crowd's like screaming and yeah. And you're just like, there's no games here. This isn't a game. This isn't a dream. This is like legit life.
It's happening.
Go. So it's either, go in with doubts and fears or go in like, I'm getting this done. I'm doing this. And which one are you going to choose? If you choose the doubts and fears, you're falling straight up. You know what I mean? So that mindset's heavy too. And like some people call that a meditative state. You're in a meditative state because you're so in line, in tune with yourself. And you speak to a lot of ninjas, you know, they get really deep on it and they can't, it's hard for them to explain and articulate.
I remember Jake Murray when I spoke to him. He was saying that, I think it was his first proper season. And it was the same thing. He just like, he was at the start line and everything just went into a tunnel and it was just like black, something like, I think that's what he was saying. Like, you know, everything was just, you could just see the course in front of him. And then everything else was just gone. And he just went. And I'm like, wow. And
that's the tunnel vision right there.
Oh, amazing. So obviously season 1 for you was an epic season for you.
Season 1. Yeah, that was the official. That was the official.
What I think for you, what happened for you after season 1 obviously was absolutely amazing. So tell me what happened for you. So the moment it sort of, hit you and everything started to explode.
Yeah, that was the most hectic thing about it, I feel. Like waking up the next day and then just every human on earth, well, not every human, but like most of the majority of Australia knew who I was, knew I was that Indigenous guy, with the ochre and the budgie smugglers. And, you know, being the first up the, you know, I was the first up the wall. I don't know how that was orchestrated, but, you know, it happened.
Yeah.
I was the poster boy. I was the front page. I was the main man. And I was just like, I woke up and I was just like, holy, whoa, wow, what is going on here? And the Instagram was blowing up. The Facebook was blowing up. It's just messages on messages. And I was just like, oh, it was like overwhelming. Hey, I was like, this is crazy. This can't be right. But I was very, very grateful as well. At the same time, I stayed grounded as possible. I just sort of simmered in it, the feeling, the emotion, and took it on as a privilege and an honor, I feel. I think I had to turn my phone off for a while, to be honest. I think that was definitely what I had to do. Yeah, man, you know, taking me back to that, it's hectic, bro. They seen a vision, you know, they seen an opportunity with me. They used, you know, myself as a lot of the promoting as well, as of what I was wearing and how I held myself and my personality. So I must admit and give myself a bit of credit for being authentic, believing in myself and going on with a pure heart, as a lot of ninjas out there sort of change their demeanor and change their personalities to try and fit a description. So being myself really showcased, you know, authenticity in a way where you don't have to try and be anyone else. You know, I could have went on there and tried to act totally different and boasted and so on and so forth. But I stayed true, bruh. Stayed true, and look where it got me.
Oh, 100%. That's definitely the Australian way. Like, you know, people would see through that. And, you know, and we know through, like, you know, through the Facebook and through the comments, you know, people don't hold back either. So they are savage. They're ruthless.
It's a savage world, man, as you said. Yeah, wow.
So what for you? So, you know, what were you doing? So you were doing carpentry at that time during Ninja.
Yeah.
And then everything exploded. So where was then that pivot? Where was that moment or change where, you know, suddenly you're now, you know, doing public speaking and school? Like, where was that? What happened in that moment where it changed?
Pretty much close to immediately, Bruss.
Wow.
Yeah, just pulled the pin straight away and just got a manager immediately. Got contacted by many people that wanted to represent me. And I was like, wow, what is this?
What is happening?
Yeah, who are these people that want to take me for coffee and for lunch and fly me places? Like, what's this all about? You know, then just speaking to my mentors, family members, cousins, and then they're just saying, yep, this is it. Like, this is what happens when you reach a level in life and, you know, you get to a point where people see your abilities and your capabilities and your wisdom or knowledge or skill set or whatever it is. You start to take bigger projects on, you start to take a bigger responsibility. So I started to meet with these people, and then I started personal training as well. So I started to take personal training classes at AM/PM in the Gold Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So in the calisthenics and natural fundamental movement industry. And at that point, like I got my management, and then I was doing one-on-ones and group classes, and I was like, this isn't even for me either. I like working with people, and I like teaching people how to be healthy and how to exercise and look after their well-being. But I started to get a fire inside me where I wanted to like work with bigger crowds and more people and impact at such a bigger level. So I manifested some schools into my life. Like I got a school straight away. I went out to Mount Isa and done a high school, done a keynote speech and a presentation for the school. And I had to, right then and there, when I was in the gym teaching someone, like after that little hour session, I was like, well, I've got to write down what I'm going to present to this class, because I've got to fly out in 2 weeks to do a presentation and be a speaker for the day at this school. So I wrote down on a whiteboard pretty much like me from a child through to that point, all of it in detail of what I experienced, throughout those years, and try to break it down into dot points so I could share what my life was like up until Ninja Warrior in a way where I can inspire and tell a story and be a storyteller. And it come to shove, and before I knew it, I was sitting in front of 300 children, teenagers, and a bit of a tough crowd. They are as well, those teenagers, as I was too. But I killed it, bruh. Killed it. I just found myself at home. I felt at home.
That's awesome. Well, was that more nerve-wracking than doing the course, or?
It is. It actually, it's up there. It's definitely up there. Trying to speak about your life and get a message across to hundreds of people is tougher than you think, but it's quite simple at the same time, because all you got to do is be yourself. Like, that's it. They either love you or hate you. And if you can tell a story and try and share without being too bold and too direct, and being more open and understanding, where you're not trying to tell people what to do, you're just highlighting where your experiences and what went right for you, what went wrong for you, what worked for you. So it was also navigating around that delivery. And that's what I learned as the years come on and months come on, and the more people I spoke to, the more people I shared. And I found that I'd picture myself just talking to me. Treat myself how I want to be treated, and also just picture that I was chatting to my friends or family or myself.
Yeah. That's awesome. Wow. Yeah. When did we speak? After, I think, we spoke during the filming, and then I don't think we spoke again for like a year and a bit. It was crazy. Just obviously you were just running around jet setting. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Phone just went off. So after we hit season 2, great season. Another great season for you. What happened for you at season 3? Were you feeling any different going into it, or was the obstacles maybe more intimidating, or were you feeling just as good?
To be honest with you, I think it was just disrespected the course, disrespected the focus, cruise control, in Fairyland a little bit. But I'll also mention the first 2 seasons, like, my career picked up as well. So my focus wasn't on the course. It was more focused on the purpose of my goal and my value, which was inspiring people. So I sort of lost, it was a catch-22, in a sense. I still trained, but I wasn't training specifically, or I wasn't training as directly for the course to be the Australian Ninja Warrior. It was like, I'll train to my extent of what I can for now, and I'm going to still hit all of these communities and all of these schools as I go through the year. Obviously I've got to live as well, and I think that's where it was. I just wasn't too involved in the competing mindset. That's it, right? That's it. And that's where I splashed out in the second obstacle. I'm pretty sure it was in season 3. So that sort of taught me that as well, bro. I can't really go into anything half-hearted. If I want something, I've got to go all in and show the respect that I want it.
Did you feel like, I don't know, you failed yourself or failed Australia at all, or how, obviously anyone's disappointed when we go in early or we stuff something up, but how did you take that?
Oh yeah, it was heavy, man. It was heavy. It was unexpected, but trials and tribulations, brother. You got to get put through the adversity and the struggle, and true champions shall express that, in a state of defeat or victory. You got to make sure you hold yourself and you speak from the heart and you stay true, not because of your feelings or emotions, and you take things with humbleness. And that's basically how I did. But, deep down inside, it was also a feeling of like, wow, fuck, I let people down. I had a lot of support. I had so many fans and people behind me, that expected much more. But what's most important is how you deal with it at the time, and how you bounce back from that. So I feel honored and privileged to experience that, to be quite pure with you. Obviously I wanted to be there. I wanted to get through the heat. I wanted to make it to the grand final and all that sort of stuff. But like, if I want to live this life and be the best I can be, give me all the challenges. Give me all of them. I want all of them. I want the adversities. I want to be struggling. I want to be nearly crying. I want to feel alone. I want to know what it feels like, so I can appreciate what it feels like to be at the top and work for it. I want to work for it too. I want to put in the hard yards. I want to make sure I'm sweating. I'm bleeding, bro. I'm shedding tears for that spot. I don't want to give in to me either. So I felt like it was just a challenge. It was a challenge I was faced with, from a higher source or universe or whatever you want to call it. It's just some people are selected, some people are given certain challenges to go through. So now, understanding, like, some books I've read through, some successful people I've followed throughout my life, and listening to my intuition, listening to my gut and my heart, that they're lessons and they're opportunities. You know what I mean? So that's what I took it as.
Oh, 100%. Well, I guess probably one of your biggest trials was yet to come. I mean, fast forward, pre-season 4, Matt, you went through a pretty traumatic experience, man. Do you want to tell me about what happened with that?
Yeah, well, February 16th, 2020. Yeah, broke my back. Broke my back, man. 1 month out from my redemption to competing on season 4. I was at the highest of my peaks, bringing it back all the way, trained my ass off. I was fully focused this time. And doing my antics, jumping off cliffs into water, doing flips and having fun and being a child. Just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out, and landed incorrectly and compression fractured to my L3 vertebrae in my lower lumbar spine. So, yeah, bud, at that point, I knew I was faced with another challenge. Just as I got to my peak again, the fight back, the climb.
That's crazy. I was worried because you sort of just, your Instagram just stopped. You're very active, and it just stopped. I was like, oh, this is odd. You notice it pretty quickly, and then you hadn't posted anything. I was like, man, I hope he's okay. Like, I hope he just hasn't been, like, I don't know, like, kidnapped or something in his travels.
you would think that too, eh?
Well, when you're very active on Instagram, and then it just stops. It's like, well, what are you gonna think? Okay, well,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
So I was like, damn, I better give this guy a call, because you said, oh yeah, man, we'll train together.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be back in Melbourne.
Well, that was the plan.
That was the plan.
To Bali for a week or two, and then I was actually going to fly to Melbourne to train with the Melbourne crew, to train with yourself as we spoke. So, I understand where you're coming from, man, because I did completely just fall off the face of the planet. And I suppose that's the next conversation is why I done that. I mean, that was what my intuition told me. I've heard a lot of things go on with traumatic experiences, big injuries, of where they take the wrong advice. They do what the doctors say. They go on the prescribed drugs. They have surgeries. I was lucky enough to understand a few things beforehand. I followed Dr. Joe Dispenza and his journey, and he's broken his back, but in many different ways than I have. But I had his experiences guiding me, so I disregarded what the doctors said. I went internally. I healed it through my own intuition, my energy, and through meditation and just rest as well. And what went through my mind, my feelings and emotions. And I felt when I needed to do this, I needed to do this alone. And I understand that letting people know when you go through something is very crucial. But what's also crucial is what energies and feelings and emotions people put on you in these points of time of healing and dark places. I wanted to feel strong. I wanted to feel empowered. I wanted to feel a high energy of healing. So I just thought to myself, all I want to hear is my own voice. So every day I'd just be like, I'm healing. Wake up. Let's go. Let's do this. You can do this. Let's go, champ. You know, closing my eyes, going internal. I was literally inside my body, like fusing my bone together. Like that's how in tune I was getting. I understand the power of meditation and the power of stillness and being calm and being within nature and focusing on good eating and fasting, like fasting the body of food that's not necessary, letting the healing of my body and the energies generate and heal, like do what it does best. We're the most bloody intelligent, creative creatures on the planet, man. Like these bodies we have are machines. We can basically do anything. Like it's unbelievable. And I was meditating like 3 hours a day, man. So I wanted to actually make the course, to be honest. I wanted to make the course, which was a month out. I know I was being optimistic, but I wanted to be in that mindset. And I think that has a lot to do with how I healed so quickly. So I was in Bali as well, man, which was a very traumatic experience. Like I was on an island when this happened. I had to climb the cliff to get out, not to mention with the broken back, not certain on what I'd done. I had to ride a scooter for 1 hour to get to the hospital. Like when you think of it, it sounds like a horror movie, bud.
I'm just glad you're alive, man. I remember you, like, I'm glad you confided in me when I called you. I was in the US. I'm like, bro, I didn't see you. Like, yeah, man, I broke up. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm just glad I'm okay. I'm glad I didn't get any nerve damage. I'm glad that I don't have any permanent issues. It's awakened me to the understanding of this one vessel we have in this human experience. We've got this one life. We may have many other lives, but I'm not ready to find out just yet. I want to live this one through first and learn as much as I can. So I'm just grateful for that. And it's given me the tools, man. It's given me the tools. It's equipped me for this journey I'm on, this role that I take, helping people throughout life, mentoring people, guiding people. So I think when you got some people, they got bigger dreams and ambition, you get given the hardest challenges. So I'm grateful for that, Bruss.
100%. So I missed that on season 4. I mean, that's okay. You were healing. Are you on? I mean, we're hoping this is season 5. I think they haven't obviously announced anything to do with auditions or anything, but I think there's some contract things that need to be sorted out. But are you on track to compete in season 5?
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Straight up. Straight up. This year was unbelievable. This year they brought the heat. Big love to Benny Paulson, the brother there, taking it out and fulfilling his goals and dreams and being the first and the only, not the only, the first ever to win, to be the fastest up the course. And just, the other boys as well for making it that far, Zaki and the golfer, the brother.
Charlie, yeah.
Charlie Robbins, mate. Inspirations and boys. Gone through trials and tribulations themselves, They all got a story to tell, them boys. And they really showed it out on the course, bruh. They killed it. Wow, the talent this year and the skill this year, holy wow. People have been grinding, mate. People have been grinding, and that's inspiring, man. That's inspiring, and I admire each and every one of them soldiers that stand up on that course, because the ninja community is so close. Everyone's just so deadly. Everyone's so friendly. There's just no ego out there, and it's just all fun and games, man.
It's
all fun and games, and I'm season 5 coming for you. Let's go. Let's do this, man. What a vibe. It's going to be awesome to get back on that course, bro.
Oh, 100%. I'm unsure as to where I'll be. I think depends on a few things. Depends on the travel situation.
Also yourself, man, you were about to achieve something pretty big, man.
Yeah, I was.
Have you shared any of that information with the world?
Yeah, I think I've shared it probably too many times. Actually, feel like every podcast I'm talking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still bitter. No,
Oh, bro, it's just setting you up for the next one, bruh. So this just you've been given a peace of mind. You've been given some time up your sleeve to work on some, maybe some weaknesses. Just stay ready, bruh. Stay ready. Keep going.
no, that's it. I was actually pretty ill just before we competed. Not with COVID, just I think just from traveling and lack of sleep and so much training. I was probably at my worst the day we were meant to compete. So it actually probably a good thing. I still was going to, but I was not good, man. I was barely alive. So
Yeah,
I,
yeah. Well, there you go. You didn't want to compete in that state, did you?
it wasn't ideal. I was going to, and I was prepared. I was like, I didn't come all this way to to bitch it now, but it wasn't ideal. So I'm a little bit grateful on that end. But I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, the whole world's been affected. You've been affected. I've been affected. So I can't exactly complain about something that's taken out the whole world.
No, no, exactly.
So
It's out of our hands, bro. It's out of our hands, and that's why there's a big shift happening in the world right now. There's a big collective conscious shift. Everyone's in limbo. Everyone's a little bit in fear. Some people are staying true. Some people are doubling down on the positivity. And I think that's what we have to do is just with this outweigh this negative vibe that's going on. I know people are sick. There's a lot of people out there going through all sorts of shit, but we got to remember we're all in this together.
that's it,
There's
man.
togetherness, no divide. Let's just, whatever, man, let's just be there for each other, stay positive. Let's keep sharing health and well-being, because if it's sickness that's killing people, we need to be healthy. So start eating healthy, of everyone. Start getting some sunlight, start breathing in some fresh air, start setting some goals, being better.
100%. And what's next for you? Obviously, yeah, I don't think you're in quarantine. So what's on the horizon at the moment for Jack Wilson?
At the moment, I'm just really delving deeper into this healing journey and discovery of myself. I'm constantly staying to rituals every day. I'm back training, bruh. So
Mm,
you wouldn't believe I broke my back, to be honest. Like, I've healed that quick. The healing journey and the bouncing back has been just absolutely just bloody substantial, man. It's been huge. Been
that's
going from
crazy.
leaps and bounds. And it was because of all the focus and the respect I gave it, and also the healing mechanisms that I put in place. A lot of fasting, a lot of meditation, a lot of cold plunging, a lot of hot plunging, infrared sauna. Just doubled down and went beast mode on lifestyle rituals
Mm,
and decisions, healing my gut, uh, reproducing new cells in the body, getting more in tune with myself and my spirit. That's definitely foreign in this day and age because it's a material world. Don't
mm,
forget that you have a soul and a spirit out there. Getting more in touch with my culture and my didgeridoo playing, and just exercising my spirit, bruh. Training
yeah,
daily, walking, stretching, mobility. Uh, so I'm just focusing a lot still on those rituals and bouncing back, getting my strength back on the bars, on the rings, the gymnastic rings, doing a lot of running. I'm back running heaps. So just activating that champ within.
oh, man, that's it, man. I mean, your recovery is like insane. I'm sure you've had people who have said, "Oh, you didn't break your back." Sure, you did. Blah 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 blah. I mean,
Oh, there'd be people out there, man, but I don't hear that shit. I don't hear
no,
that shit. I
no,
know what I've done. I know what I believe in and what I experienced. And my vision now is those people that do say that is to help them going through whatever they're going through, because they seem a little bit clouded on what everyone else is going through. So I
mm,
just want to help people, man. That's my value. That's my option I'd like to take in life, is to be a service to other people, and whatever I can do, whether that's through health, whether that's through nutrition,
mm.
movement, mindset, trauma, PTSD, whatever that is, man. Like, it's just all about communication. Let's change your mind and change your life and change your habits. Everyone deserves to be happy, man.
100%, man. I've got some questions from some people who've asked.
Oh,
First one, it says, "What does your look represent?" I'm guessing they mean your look on the course. That's what I'm guessing.
yeah, beautiful. That's a great question. Thank you for that. My look on the course with the Indigenous Aboriginal flagged budgie smugglers, the black, yellow, and red. Firstly, they represent the Indigenous people of Australia. My father's Aboriginal, so I've got a very strong love for my culture. So I wanted to represent my culture. The black represents the people, the yellow represents the sun, and the red represent the earth, the color of the sand, the red dust here in Australia, the outback. That's the home, that's our soil, that's our heart. And the ochre, the white ochre on my skin, that is also from the land. You can find that in like water streams, in burrows, in creeks, wetlands. It's like a clay, so it's used in ceremony. It's used in communities where they do song lines and dance. So it's like the blood of our Mother Earth, and they put that on. That's like very, very powerful. You know, there's a very big connection there. So that's definitely my look on the show, guys.
No, very, very unique, very strong look. What is your biggest strength and weakness when, I think it says, when doing ninja?
My biggest strength doing Ninja Warrior is believing in myself. Just got to believe and be myself. So when I'm out there, if I want to smile, if I want to have a straight face, like I won't hold that back. If I want to smile, I love looking at the crowd and smiling. That's like one of my things. I draw the inspiration by doing that. I know it's bit me in the bum a few times. I've, been a bit too caught up with all the hype, and, I learn from that. But at the same time, if I like doing it, like I want to do it too. So that's also one of my weaknesses as well. At the same time, is where if I'm not focusing on the course and what's at hand, I can also come unstuck and have a slip or lose my focus. So that's a strength and a weakness for me, I must admit. But I'll also admit one of my strengths is doing the shaker leg, the dance up on the up on the podium. I'll do it right now. So this dance is very significant to Australia and Aboriginal people. It's called the shaker leg. So I've hit the buzzer, go up. Jack Wilson's gone up. He's hit the buzzer. I do the shaker leg. So that's like a very profound dance in Indigenous culture as well. Doing animal movements, you can do the kangaroo, you can do the emu like that. You can do like a goanna like this. So there's many different animals that you can mimic and imitate. But that's one of my strengths. I like that one.
Man, that's some strong shaky leg.
Yeah. You got to get you shaking the leg, bro.
Some mad wobbles.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one. This one I've actually always been curious about. I've never been able to work this one out. How do you breathe in through the nose while still playing the didgeridoo? I've never understood that personally.
Hey, it took me a long time. I was just seeing if I had the didgeridoo here. How do I do it? Is that what it says?
Yeah, like how do you breathe through your nose while still playing?
So you gotta go.
You're taking a breath in.
So
in that
my
same
mouth
breath.
is full.
Yeah.
My mouth is full, like.
Yeah.
And when I breathe out and push through with a mouth full of air, as I push through a bit harder, I breathe a bit through my nose. So I go.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
And when I push through and my mouth is full of air and I push through, it pushes enough air through the didgeridoo for me to breathe through my nose, and it doesn't make make a divide or a break in the sound because there's air blowing through.
Mm, wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy. I mean,
it
it's
is.
such a unique sound. It's such and obviously you know, you don't have to just be indigenous to learn. Obviously, Freddie loves his didgeridoo. Um,
Yeah, no, it's definitely for everyone, brother. But like our women, they say our women shouldn't play the didgeridoo. That is one of the laws.
okay, Jack,
Hey,
I lost you, bro. Thought you
yeah,
teleported.
the the phone went dead, brother. That was doing a hotspot, bro.
Ah, okay, okay.
But I'm back on now. I'm sweet.
All good, all good. I'll edit that out. um,
Sorry,
um,
boss.
oh, man. You disappoint me, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, shit.
um, yeah, man. I think that was the last question, and then last thing for my friend Kai. I met him in Texas when I was there. He says GVC all day.
Oh, yes, my brother, GVC, man. That's beautiful, man. See the good
It's
vibes club, brother. It's within all of us, man. We all want to spread them that good energy, eh?
no, man. It's everywhere, man. I think I've run out of questions, man. But I appreciate you coming on. It was long overdue. Man, thank you so much.
Oh, all good, bruh. All good, man. It's good to hear your voice. Good to see your cute face. You know, just want to squeeze that little face there. No, we've shared some good times, brother. Let's keep in contact, eh? Let's keep
No,
in contact.
100%,
Let's keep running, man.
100%.